Well, I guess it's here. Snow, I mean. Winter. Fun. -8. I was actually kind of looking forward to it because over by the bins there, by the feed bins, it was so muddy. It was just awful. Like, I was trying to make feed last week and I was trying to get stuff around the yard put away and everything, and it was just awful. So, you know, a guy can deal with a certain amount of frustration throughout the day, but when your telehandler is low on power and it's shutting itself off and so on and so forth, so you know there's a maintenance issue there, and it's muddy everywhere you step, your feet are wet, your shoes are wet, and it's cold. Yeah, it just doesn't make for a good week. I'm hoping this week is going to be different because it's -8. The ground is starting to freeze, at least the exposed ground anyways. The ground in the yard is starting to firm up a little bit. Spots like this over here, you see that's like frozen. So my feet won't get wet there anymore. Now there's a couple spots over here where there was more water. I doubt that's frozen solid, but it could be. Oop, so it's not. So it's still a bit gross. I'm going to fire up the 4440 with the blade on it. I'm just going to backblade this. Backblade these ruts smooth. I grabbed that set of skidder chains right there. I left it there the other day because I'm an idiot. One thing I did find in the shop though yesterday was these fancy dancy mitts. I don't know where they come from. Pretty pumped about that. 3 or 4 years ago, I got a really good set of mitts, and it turned me into a mitt wearer. I didn't realize how much dexterity you actually do have with mitts, and then how warm your hands stay because your fingers are all together. Consolidation is key for warmth. Blue and Gus are still out, covered in snow now. They're gonna have to get, I don't know. I think it's supposed to warm up by the end of the week a little bit. Maybe the snow will melt off of them. And then we can put them away. This tractor hasn't been plugged in. It's -8. Last winter, in this exact situation, it would not start. I could guarantee you that. But we got new batteries in it this summer, so we'll give her a shot of... We'll give her a cold start, see if it starts up. Not even close. Shot of ether. That ain't even gonna do it. Another shot. Look at that, eh? It's crazy. 4440. 4440, that's like a year older than that one. Slightly less hours. But that thing's just a nightmare to start. And this thing would probably fire right up. Let's try it. So I don't know if that thing needs a fuel pump or what exactly makes it a hard starter. But that was 2 shots of ether. And I bet you this guy don't even take a shot of ether. Oh boy, he's gonna take a shot. Well, at least they started. Now, -8's really not that bad, but they don't like it. Now this old girl, she's gonna live out her winter inside because there's just too much hydraulic oil, transmission fluid, maybe it's different. You got these hubs here, planetaries, whatever they're called, full of oil. I don't want them to be, I don't want this thing to be overworked or even slightly abused. So we run a pretty good maintenance program on her because we rely on her so much for loading totes and loading bags and doing this and that and the next thing. The first winter I had it, it didn't, it used a little bit of antifreeze. I don't know why, but I put some of that antifreeze stop leak in it, and it stopped the leak. So that was a win. It's been running like crap the last couple of weeks. I think I ran out of fuel once, or ran it low, and the pickup in the tank is quite a bit higher. So when it was sitting at an angle, I think it ran out of fuel that way. So when I was on the internet, first thing, buddy said, well, change this fuel control valve. Changed it. Didn't. I think it changed a little bit, but not enough. And then a lot of people said, due to the way it is, if you get air trapped in here, it's going to be a nightmare, or if you have collapsed lines or something. So I opened up this, and I opened up this, and I opened up this, and right away I had diesel, and I opened up this, and it was dry for quite a while, and then the diesel did finally come. So what I'm hoping, as insane as it sounds, is somehow there was some air stopping all the diesel from getting there. Because it's in a heated shop, I fully expect it to start right up. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna throw my head in my hands and cry. But the last few starts here, it's cranked over for a long time. Once I bled those injectors, it fired right up instantly, just a quick turn of the key. So hopefully we can duplicate that. So here we go. Shouldn't need glow plugs. But anyways, I'm over here. This is one of the reasons this is the reason I went to town today. This guy's been on his way out for a while. It's needed a tune-up kit. I've kept it running with some condensers and stuff that I found in the shop, but I'm not even sure if they were the right ones. I know a couple of them weren't. They didn't have the right ends and stuff like that. We just made them work. The battery was getting very weak, needed to be boosted all the time, which wasn't the normal for this tractor. This guy usually fires right up. And so there is a gentleman that gets sheep molasses here that is a parts person in town. And I'm fortunate enough to have his personal number because he messaged me about molasses many moons ago, and I saved it in my phone. So when I have questions or when I need parts, I just quickly shoot him a message. I don't think I abuse it, but just say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and then I leave it in his hands, shoot him a couple pictures. And he messaged me last week and he said, you know what, I have all of that stuff in stock. So he put it all in a bag for me. He needed some more sheep molasses, so I filled up 4 pails this morning, took that into him, and picked up my bag. Also got a battery. So here's all my goodies, including this angle grinder I picked up because the last one we had fell apart. This like exploded. So that was a win also. But anyways, yeah, so the dude had, he had everything that I was looking for. We got condenser here. Points here. I assume this is a rotor. It's on the floor now. It's hard to open these boxes and stuff with one hand. Yeah, you betcha. Winning.
Also got a new cap. With a springy thingy that stays in there. This one falls out. Don't even know what that's for. This cap is also cracked somewheres along the side here. Now, well, I shouldn't say not too long ago. It's probably years ago now, because that's how fast time goes. I did spark plugs and I did wires. I don't actually know how to even test wires. I'm sure there's a way. But, you know, kind of looking at things, it amazes me, because I don't, like, how does stuff even fail? Like, you know, do these little guys in here fail, or does this get failed? Or, I mean, I guess these things could implode internally, but I don't know. So I'm going to use new wires anyways. I'm going to use new spark plugs. I'm going to use new everything. All the rest of this stuff we'll throw in a box for now, and then we'll probably throw it away. Okay, well, I got, so all the old wires are here. All the new wires are made up. I did take a picture, so I'm not worried about where they go. Plus the new one that goes from the distributor to the coil. Now, there's a couple mechanics that watch this, I know for sure. So these old wires had like fluff on them, and the new wires have like actual wires. And I do remember, I think when I bought these or ordered them, there was something about this like fiberglassy-ish type nonsense. Do you guys know, in your experience, is like the actual metal wire better, or is the fiberglassy, burnt out, melted nonsense, is that better? I don't know. I have no idea. So anyways, that's going to be garbage because it's cracked. So we got the new one. I will put new gadgets on here. And then I got to find a spark plug wrench. And then we'll go change spark plugs. All right. Well, I was riding the struggle bus pretty hard, but I got this set to 20,000, which is what it's supposed to be. Everything's tightened down. This guy goes on top of here. The other way though, like that. Oops. Anyways, it does fit on there. Then I got to put the distributor on, the wires up. I put the old coil back in because when I took the new one out of the box, it said 6 volts on it. So I shot a quick message off to my buddy Jeremy, and I was just like, is that gonna work? And he said, well, it probably would work, but it'll fail pretty quick. Messaged the dude that sold it to me, and he said, yeah, well, I just went off the book and that's what it said. And he's probably right. I think some of these tractors were 6-volt systems, some were 12 volt, and some were 6-volt upgraded to 12. So you do run into that when you're horsing around with this kind of nonsense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the old coil back on, because I was like testing it in the shop. I found a YouTube video on how to test it, and it looks like it just works. So I think, I mean, I don't know. I want to do it all, but the dude said he's got a 12-volt coil there, so Corey can run it in the morning and exchange it. She's got more stuff to do in town, so. But I'll just put this one on for tonight and just see if it starts. New battery, new spark plug wires, new spark plugs, new points, new. If it's ever going to start, it'll start now. I also did plug it in. I don't know if you can hear that, but I put like a really, really big recirculating heater on it. So it actually gets so warm now it melts the snow off the hood. So usually starting isn't an issue if all this works. And I was having a bunch of crank, fuel, power, and everything, but no spark to the spark plugs. And I think so that's all this tune-up stuff that we just did. I think everything else was kind of working. I think it was mostly down in that point and that condenser and all that other stuff. So hopefully it works. But I just got to stick the rotor on there and cap, and then hook all the wires up, and we'll give her a run.
Good morning. She's a balmy -10 today. Or what would that be? 13 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. I gotta get my tickets. Hold on a sec. Okay, we can try that again. I had to get my book with all my tickets that I gotta make. So I didn't make anything over the weekend. That was a two-part situation. Part one, over by the bins, was like sloppy and mucky, and I just wasn't having it. So I wanted to finish up a little bit of tillage we had to do, get everything put away. So that's what we did. My plan was to get going big time on Monday, yesterday, because it's Tuesday. But of course, I came over, tried to start the tractors, and the little 430 case wouldn't start. So I fired up the 4440. I backbladed around there a little bit, tried to smooth things out because it was supposed to be cold overnight last night, and it was. So now I expect that stuff is going to be fairly hard. I did find my timer for these plugins. I hope it worked. I think I said it right. Oh yeah, that's warm. That's warm. So they turn on at 4 in the morning, and then they turn off by 12. But of course, I'm out here before then anyways. This is going to be rock hard. Look at that. Yesterday it was slopping around, but because I bladed the snow off of it, it's rock hard now. This one should also be warm. Might even be able to hear this one. Oh yeah, that thing bubble. So I got a big circulating heater in here, way bigger than this engine would need, but it's nice because it warms the engine right up, and actually gets so warm that it melts the snow. Yesterday I did get everything put back together. The only thing I didn't get was the right coil. Corey's gone to town today. She's got a couple of things to do. She's gonna get a new coil. Now I think it's set right. I'm hoping it just starts. It did start yesterday. Look at that. So it probably doesn't even need that coil, but because I did everything, points and everything like that, I don't really understand how a coil works. I don't know if it's like a resistance thing or whatever. I was trying to test the old coil off a YouTube video that I had saw, and I wasn't getting the right readings. Of course, I don't know if my tester is just a cheap one, maybe it doesn't work, but I just, because I did the points, I did the condenser, I did the plugs, I did the wires, I did the cap, I did the rotor. I just want to do the coil. That way the starter's new, the alternator's new, the battery's new. So if we start with everything new, we should get another 40 years out of that tractor, right? And I don't know exactly if it works that way. You hear a lot of times that people say, oh, if you got a bad starter, it's gonna wreck your batteries. Or if you got a bad alternator, it's gonna blow up your batteries. Or if you got, bad batteries, it'll wreck your starter, or whatever, right? So we'll just start with everything new, and life will be good. I'm pretty pumped that started that fast. That's been a long time coming.